All right, it's the end of another day, and kind of an interesting day too. Here we're looking at the daily on the S&P 500, and we're leaving a nice tail to the bottom. I really wanted to see this thing close at a good hammer, and that would have been encouraging. I would have been crazy bullish for tomorrow, but we still have a rollover of the daily momentum, and you got to argue that this is more of a doji. The bears did win the day. There's a really sweet tail to the downside, but I would have been more encouraged if the body was a little bigger towards the upside. We hit resistance at the 8-day moving average, and it just couldn't hold above that. Hopefully tomorrow we bust through that. But those tails are kind of encouraging, telling us what the street thinks about the economy and about the inflation issue that we're fighting right now. So again, would have been nicer if we had that heavy hammer. If we look at the 60-minute, no, you could argue that the 60-minute is rolling over. We have this low here, and the momentum could be turning. We're probably going to see a little dip tomorrow, create a higher low, and then we could look for it to break to a higher high. So let's get our fingers crossed, or have our fingers crossed, and see if that's what's going on. And then we could have, again, let's take a look at Bitcoin. I'm going to start watching Bitcoin because there's some volume in it and some volatility in it. And people are trading it, and people have asked me about it. So we're going to include that in our evening wrap-up. I'm not recommending it as an investment or anything like that, but anything that's got movement, we could call a trading vehicle. So let's start out with the daily. I'm going to lose that cloud, so say love you with the cloud. Here's my daily on it, and you could see it was in a downtrend, but the momentum's turning around, and it looks like it's making a reversal right here. If you were trading it, you could probably trade the break right here around the 140 range and ride that bad boy up. Looks like it found support around the 20-day moving average. And this is what I'm actually looking at is the futures on Bitcoin, but it's relatively the same concept. And on the 60-minute, to get a bias, just rolling into tomorrow. Well, actually, the 60-minute is still looking very negative, so I would keep an eye on that and look for some sort of bottoming pattern on the 60, and then look for it to turn around. And that would be your Bitcoin trade. And we can go on down, and let's take a look at CLOV. CLOV. I don't think that's doing anything impressive whatsoever. So let's start with the daily. And yeah, it's just working its way down to fill the gap. Nobody's really getting involved right now. So you just got to watch this thing, let it fill the gap, and then kind of assess what it's going to do once that gap is filled. And if it starts getting energy, then this is a good place for shorts to mitigate the damage. And that's really what they're looking at too. Like, is this going to hold here and turn around, or is it going to continue on a down path? So if you're playing this CLOV short play, that's what everybody's looking at. That's what the hedge funds and shorters are looking at. On the 60, it's kind of flattening out. So you could watch that, and if it turns around and breaks the 1363, that's where an entry would be. So if it breaks that 1363, you could probably see some short people closing some of their positions at that point to mitigate the damage. And that would be our CLOV. Boring old Black Berry. Boring old Blackberry. Oh, look at boring old Blackberry, huh? Nice move up. I mean, you know, if somebody looked at that bar, they'd want to get involved. They'd want to participate in that nice strong bar. So we'll see what it does tomorrow. If it breaks that, it could be doing a turnaround. The momentum is still moving down, but it's not giving me any indication that it's going to roll. So if we go to the 60, we're going to look inside that bar, and yeah, I got to do something about that. And this is, you know, this is turned around, beginning a positive trend right there. You know, you could even argue that this is like a cup and handle, and breaking here. That could be the start of a good move up. I think we'll probably get resistance around that area right there. We have a gap, and that Keltner channel is pushing down on that. So that's a good indication that would be a next bit of resistance that it's got to work through. And then it's got to work through all of this mess. But it's got to start somewhere, and it looks like this is where it starts. And then last but not least, what's on everybody's mind? Turns out to be AMC. AMC. Everybody jumps in, woohoo, on my stream, and you know, trying to pump the stock. But there is interest, so we're going to talk about it. And that's a nice bar. I mean, it didn't have what it took to break this high right here, but that's what we're looking for right now. And that's what the shorts are looking for right now. And that's the first bit of sweat. They were encouraged and hoping that they could mitigate the damage right down here, or that it would continue its march down. But everybody pulled together and pushed it up and popped it. And then, you know, this little retrace was a test, and breaking this retrace definitely got people's attention. Nice strong bar, a little bit of a tail, not too worried about it. You want to see it break, obviously, the 64.75, and I do believe that people will start fading out of their trade, closing the short. And I think that the closes will be aggressive, breaking that high. And then they'll let this position run a little bit and fade the run up. So that $100 mark is, you know, not impossible, but you know the nature of this trade and what it's about. So, you know, just harvest some profits, play with some market money, protect your downside, don't get hurt on this thing. And if you make a boatload of loot on it, come join me and let me show you how to trade professionally and consistently, and help you build a career in the market. So if you like my rhetoric, do me a favor and subscribe and hit the bell and hit the like, and you know, spread the word, and drop in from time to time tomorrow and hear what I'm doing, and throw a few comments out there and help me with the content. So good luck and happy trading.